Hello guys, in this video we'll be seeing about how to use Listbox, and also we'll see how to add the values inside the Listbox and to get the values from the Listbox, and we'll also see the features of the Listbox like its width, height, and how to change the highlight color, etc. And we'll also see the use of the scrollbar, about how to use its function to make changes in the Listbox, that is the X scrollbar and Y scrollbar. So let's get started. The first thing which we have to do is to create a variable for storing the list box. In this case, I'm going to have it as ls. So ls equals to list box of first variable, that is the first parameter is going to be the window variable, that is here in this case it is root, and we can also specify the height for this list box. If you're specifying height, it is in the row wise, that not in the pixel, that is if we specify it as 10, then it means that the height of the list box is going to be 10 rows and not in pixels. So height in this case I'm having it as 10, and let's just grid it inside the window. So grid of row equals to 0 and column equals to 0. So if we run this, it's grid. So if we run this, we can see that the list box is created, which is of width 10 and height 10, and width we didn't specify it still. So for specifying the width of the list box, the command is going to be width equals to the width which we require. In this case, I'm going to specify it as 20, and we can also specify the font type, like how we want the font to be looking inside the list box. Same like how we did it in the button and entry field, the same parameters will be there in the font. So font equals to, inside a tuple, the first one is going to be which you want, that is the font style, like normal, Arial, or etc. And the next parameter is going to be the font size, like 20 and all. And the next one is underlined or bold, something like that. So underline, and also we can specify the highlight color of the list box, that is when the list box is selected, uh, a border will be created around the list box. So for that, command is highlight color. In this case, I'm going to have it as red. So whenever the list box is selected, you can see that the red color border is appearing over the list box. In order to make it clear, yeah, so this red color border is which is appearing over the list box is because of this highlight color. And to insert the values inside the list box, we can do the dot insert command, that is listbox dot insert, that is ls dot insert. The first parameter is going to be the index at which place you want to insert the elements in the list box. You can either give it as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and all, or you can directly specify it as end. If you're giving end, it will add at the last place of the list box. Suppose if you are having two elements in the list box, and if you're specifying the end for the next element to be inserted, what it will do is insert it in the third place. So since we don't have any elements inside the list box now, I'm going to specify it as 0, and then we are inserting the text. So here I'm going to have it as text 1. Yeah. So if I run this, you can see that the text is created here, and I'm selecting this text, and since this list box is selected, the highlight color, that is the red background, is appearing over the list box. And we can also change the background color and foreground color, that is the background color of the list box and the text inside the list box. We can change its color by giving bg equals to, that is for the background color, equals to something like blue, and foreground for that is for the text, we can give that as yellow, something like that. And when we execute this, you can see that where the background color is of blue and the text is of green, yellow. and when the text is selected, you can see that the color changes to a light blue color. We can also change that by specifying the command called as select background. So select background equals to which color you need. In our case, we'll have that as green. So if we execute this, you can see that whenever I'm selecting a text inside the list box, the highlight color is changing to a green color. So those are the features of the list box. And next, what we are going to see is about the scroll bar. And for doing that, we have to create for x-axis one scroll bar and for y-axis one scroll bar. That is that x scroll bar. That is x scroll bar of the first variable is going to be the root variable, and next how we want that scroll bar to align itself to the window, that is either horizontal or vertical. Since it's the x scroll bar, we want it as a horizontal, so orient equals to horizontal. And the next one is the command, like which what it should do whenever a button whenever the scroll bar is moved. In this case, we want it for the list box, so that the x-axis along the list box can be covered by the x scroll bar. So ls dot x view, that is the command which we are going to give. X view, yeah. And the same like for y scroll bar, it is y scroll of root and orient equals to vertical, and its command is going to be ls dot y view, yeah. So the next thing which we are going to do is, since we have created the scroll bar variable, and next what we have to do is to specify these commands inside the list box, so that whenever the scroll bar is moved, the list box know which is moving. That is, if the x-axis x scroll bar is moving, x-axis along the list box should move. So for that, ls dot config or ls dot configure, yeah, ls dot configure. And what we have to do is x scroll is going to be equals to xsb dot set, and y scroll equals to ysb dot set, yeah. So when we then we have to place it inside the screen. So xsb dot set dot grid of row is equals to 1 and column equals to 0, and ysb dot grid of row equals to 0 and column equals to 1. When we execute this, the scroll bar will be placed inside the screen, but then one problem will be there, that is the scroll bar size will not be up to the list box size. That is yeah, x scroll, yeah. So we can see here that the scroll bar is created and it is visible in the screen, but the problem is that it is not up to the screen size, that is up to the list box size, up from here to here. So in order to make this, there is a command called as sticky in the grid function. Since it is the x-axis, we need it to extend from the east direction to the west direction, that is, it will expand itself along that column and row. So sticky is equals to in this case it is going to be east to west, that is in both the direction it will expand. And since it is a y scroll, in here we have to specify this as north south. So when we execute this, we can see that the scroll bar is up to the size of the list box, and this is how every scroll bar is looking like. So in order to make the scroll bar work, what we have to do is to insert the text more than the size of the list box, so that the elements are beyond the list box and we can use the scroll bar to access them. So for example, if we just for loop for in range 10. Yeah, so here I'm just going to do a simple string formatting, and to make it clear I'm just printing which element is that. So I, text of I, and when we execute this we can see, and also I'm going to specify this as end. So when we execute this we can see that the texts are created, and we can also see that, okay, so this is up to the size of the list box, so still the scroll button activate, so we'll keep that as 20. Yeah, so now you can see that the scroll bar is activated, and which can be accessed through the scroll bar for the y-axis view. And if I'm selecting any element inside the list box, it is highlight color is changing to red, and this selected text color changes to highlight color changes to the green, and this background color is blue, and also the text color is yellow. And there is one more command inside this list for the list box, which is used to get the values. We saw how to insert the values inside the list box, and there is a command for getting the values from the list box. So for that I'm going to create a button of root, and text is equals to click, and I'm going to create a command as and b1 dot grid is inside of row equals to 2 and column equals to 2. So we have to create a function def display. What this is going to do is to get the selected text from the list box. So first, index is equals to ls dot curve selection. What this is going to do is this listbox dot curve selection, it will return, it will check if any element is selected inside the list box. If it is true case, then it will return the index value of the selected place. So for then we have to get what is the text inside that at that index. So for that, value equals to less dot get of index. So what this does is this dot get function, it returns the value, that is the text which is stored at that particular index. So if I print the value, yeah, so we can see now this button is created over here, and I'm selecting the text 0 and I'm pressing the button. You can see that the text 0 is printed, and if I'm printing the index and value, so we can see that first I'm printing the index, that is text 0 is at the index 0. So and the next text is the text 0, and suppose if I'm selecting the text 7, which is at the 7th place, that is the index is 7, and the text at the 7th index is the text 7. So these are the concepts of the scroll bar and list box. In the next video, we'll be creating a simple registration page using Tkinter and a login page using Tkinter, and also we'll be seeing how to use the MySQL connectivity as the backend and the Tkinter as the front end to create a simple registration page. If you like this content, do subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon for more notifications. If you have any doubts regarding this video or any other concept of Tkinter, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for watching.